Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, March 8th, 2023 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. On Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That order was effective immediately and until it is rescinded or the state of emergency is terminated on July 17th, 2022 by action of the legislature. The order was extended until March 31st,
March
2023.
2023.
You ask him.
I'll ask everyone to rise and join us in saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call the roll. Commissioner Stady,
I am present.
Commissioner Collins,
Present.
Commissioner Shea is present. We have a quorum. Before we start, I'm going to tell you that we're going to jump around a little bit. We have some folks over here to pick up their opera awards. The bag of money will be ready very shortly. So we're going to do items 1 through 4 and then jump to number 11 if there's no question about it. And then we'll go right back to the 1:30 appointments, which are budget presentations. Call the order, call the roll. Second, 3 minutes of the open session meeting of March 1, 2023 for approval.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the meeting minutes of March 1 as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 4, minutes of the executive session meeting of March 1, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the executive session minutes of March 1. Said minutes not to be released until the matter has been resolved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye, it is a vote. Without objection, we're going to go to item number 11. We'll start with Director Cronin. This is our opera awards for the commission's approval and awards. So we'll
Thank
just start
you,
off.
Sharon. Briefly,
Director
you have two applications before you this afternoon, commissioners. One is for the town of Bellingham under revenue replacement. This is for 3 girls softball fields on High Street that have had fencing issues for some time. They need new safety fencing. This new project will protect the players and on the sidelines from foul balls, etc. The project is to install 450 feet of 8-foot high galvanized chain link fencing. This totals $49,999. And I think the commissioners understand Bellingham is a very frequent applicant, and they may be leading the pack right now with total applications in. The second application today is for the town of Holbrook. Their first and their potentially last application, as they are applying for their full amount of $2,078,739.98. The town of Holbrook has been collaborating with the town of Braintree and the town of Randolph to build a new tri-town water supply system. This particular infrastructure is a comprehensive project that will deliver clean water through the water treatment plant to these tri-town areas. This particular grant falls squarely under the infrastructure water sewer category. I understand today we have representatives from Holbrook here to receive this award. So those are your 2 applications this afternoon.
Okay, why don't we do Holbrook and then we'll go right to Holbrook. I mean, why don't we do Bellingham and then we'll go right to Holbrook
Right.
for comment and then we'll take a picture.
I said a quick question.
Sure.
So we received an application we approved for Rand, and we received Holbrook. Did Braintree put anything on this yet?
We've not seen anything from Braintree under this category.
Okay, but they're part of it, right?
They are part of the tri-town project.
Okay, all right.
They may be using their own ARPA funds, Commissioner. It's just, I
Okay,
don't see any
I
applications.
don't know if I had missed that. Okay, that's
Nope.
great. So you want to approve Bellingham?
Sure, and then we'll
Mr.
go
Chairman?
to Holbrook and then.
I'd move that we move approval of the opera grants at the town of Bellingham, the amount of $449,999. Couldn't make it 50,000. All right, $49,999. Said purpose to be used for in the area of recreational fields and for improvement of fences for safety related thereof. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we approve the award the aforementioned award to the town of Bellingham in the amount of $49,999. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote, it is an award.
All right. Mr. Chairman,
Holbrook,
great pleasure to make the motion to our colleagues who are here to see us, especially a commissioner colleague we have. I'll move approval of the opera grant to the town of Holbrook for the amount of $2,078,739.98. And it says sum is to be used in terms of the water treatment facility that they participate with the town of Braintree and Randolph. So moved.
Second.
okay, motion made and seconded on the town of Randolph for an award of, how come I can't see seven? No, is it 7 or 2?
No, 2 million.
2 million, I
Yeah,
almost
2
gave you 7.
Oh, good.
2,078,739.98.
Right.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It is an award. I'm going to ask these folks, we're going to introduce Manager Greg Hanley. We have Selectman Dan Lee here, and I'm not sure I know this other gentleman, so.
DPW Commissioner Keith Nastasia.
Oh, which last name again?
Nastasia.
And DPW Commissioner Keith Nastasia. So do you folks have any comment? Now's the time to get on the record. Then we're going to step out and take a picture of us awarding the check.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, commissioners, for this vote today. This is an integral vote for the town of Holbrook. As stated, we're members of the Tri-Town Water Treatment District, and this is 100% of the proceeds going there to do a cost reduction to the residents of the town of Holbrook. Town of Holbrook has a joint water facility right now with the town of Randolph that is antiquated and is ready to be decommissioned. And this money will just escalate the timeline necessary to complete the project. With me today, Mr. Chairman, is the Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Mr. Lee, and our DPW Superintendent. They're here to thank you themselves personally for this award. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the efforts and the help of the Assistant County Administrator, Mr. Buckley, in helping the county facilitate this payment to us. It was very helpful on the portal management, along with the team that approves the money through your program. So thank you on behalf of the residents of the town of Holbrook. We're very glad to be here and very glad that the county chose to take on opera as opposed to letting it go to the state. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing. We are not going to take Bitcoin from the treasurer. So, just so you know, we decline that.
Oh, man.
Okay, Dan, you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Shea and board members or commissioners, and also County Director Cronin and Assistant, I don't see him here tonight.
He's in the back.
He runs the Zoom.
You think the Wizard of
I'm here. Don't worry. I'm following along.
All right, all right. So, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for this. This is, as Town Administrator Hanley just mentioned, that this is going to be very, very helpful to our new tri-town. So all the proceeds from the opera award are going directly to help the residents and the taxpayers of the town of Holbrook. And I just can't thank you guys enough from the start of this all the way up until today. So on behalf of the other board members and myself and the entire town of Holbrook, we thank you guys for awarding this.
It's great.
Okay, Commissioner, you have any comment?
Commissioner, Chairman, Mr. Commissioners, yes, once again, for the residents of the town of Holbrook, and this is a long time coming, money's gonna be, put to good use. I mean, they've been struggling along with, the existing plant, now to go to a new plant for safe potable water. It's gonna be a huge, huge benefit. Can't thank you enough.
Okay,
It's the third community, I think, Mr. Chairman, that took the whole, Stoughton was the first one, Randolph, and now Holbrook. I don't believe anyone else has done it so
No.
far, but we're glad that you got the money before anything else happened to it. We wanted to do that. If I could, just real
Sure.
quick, you and I and other people as well, I don't want to overlook anybody, start naming names, but several people attended the function Sunday in which Congressman Lynch was there. And I had a few minutes to talk to the congressman relating to opera. And he was very, very pleased with the way it's going in Norfolk County and other places. And he conveyed to me that there could be something similar, not identical, but some more good news might be coming as well. It's hard in a room with his music playing and people talking and, everybody's trying to get the congressman. But he was saying more or less to me that, there could be some more interesting things happening because ours is scheduled to run out, as we know. But he said there could be something similar. Congress is looking at some other proposals. So that's good news because this has worked out well. It has for all of us, So we'll stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
Okay, well, it's interesting you should say that because last year in the early stages of opera, I used to mention in the first few weeks, this was so new to us and so maybe I don't think we were ever intimidated, but because it was so new to us, we went so slowly in the beginning. And then we were fortunate enough to hook up with the other 4 counties under the leadership of County Treasurer O'Brien in Plymouth County and work this out. I keep waiting for something to go wrong because I'm so proud of how the first year has gone and so smooth, because when you're dealing with all this and bureaucracy, and I don't mean it as a bad term, and having to go back and forth with accountants and lawyers, and we just had a meeting in the city of Quincy on a question about whether something is eligible, not eligible, and again, it's such a tribute to the team that were put together by everyone, the treasurer, Director Cronin, Bill Buckley, and everyone else, plus our paid staff, which includes 2 auditing firms and the law firm of Mintz in Boston. And they never fear to answer the phone or step up to the plate. And we've had some bumps, but they were taken care of administratively, and it really, really is good. So it makes me think that we would be more than ready and prepared if we could ever help out Uncle Sam to distribute more money. I
Right.
think we've got the
We've
team in
proven it.
place and everything else.
Right.
Having
Mr. Chairman, just.
Yes, Greg.
As a county commissioner, if I could put on that hat for 1 minute, in deliberations and discussions with Treasurer O'Brien, if we didn't have a guy like Mr. Cronin as part of that team for you to, get right into the fast lane, I do know for the record, they play a lot of cribbage, which I don't know if that has anything to do with awards and distributions, but Mr. O'Brien, Treasurer O'Brien, is very grateful to have Mr. Cronin as a counterpart in the program.
Well, again,
I'm waiting for the good treasurer
we
still
love
to
that.
come up to
Don't,
speed.
don't build them up too much. If you,
Same.
don't build them up too much if you're looking for a raise. Okay. If there's no objections, I'd like to move to number 11, which is the actual award. We're going to take a photo, and then we'll be right back to our regular meeting.
Do we need to go on recess?
A 1-minute recess.
Yeah, how's that? Yeah. So,
Okay, let's go. Folks, we're going to take a photo outside. Treasurer Bellotti, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're back on the record in our Wednesday, March 8th, 2023 meeting. Number 5 on the agenda is appointments relative to the fiscal year 24 budget. Today, we have the schools, the treasurer's office, and the maintenance department. And if I have no objection, I'm going to start with the treasurer's office. I forget, maybe quicker than the other 2.
just to,
Treasurer Bellotti and
May-
Assistant
so let me
Treasurer
interrupt for a
DeLoria.
second. Peter, Commissioner Collins, do we have your permission to stamp?
Yes,
documents?
please. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, just,
Mr. Chairman, do you want to
thank you.
do a,
Step right up here.
Okay. Joe, you want to pull up a chair?
We can put Joe right there.
Okay, so.
Treasurer Mike Bellotti.
I
appreciate that. Didn't expect that, but thank you for your patience. We will be quick.
All right.
Won't be too quick.
Okay,
but-
yeah, let you guys with us.
Try to.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, my name's Freddie Fluffin Dole.
Really? Yeah, it's a high school. Oh, yeah. Okay, ready?
We are ready.
First of all, thank you. I didn't expect that, but a quick overview of our budget in the treasurer's office. Again, this is the budget for the treasurer's office. The FY 24 budget is only a 2% increase from last year, 23. And that also includes the 2.5% COLA. So in actuality, if you exclude the COLA, we're about 0.5% above the budget from last year.
Well,
Yes, yep.
Yep.
The COLA 200s, up about 4.5% plus. The 400s are down 9.8%, and the 500s are down 33%. One notable point is since I took over FY '21, which was my first actual budget that I had half of, we've increased the budget by only 3.35% over the last couple of fiscal years. So, we appreciate what the county's going through in terms of, we're all kind of running on fumes in some ways. There's no real new revenues coming in, and we have to kind of to work as, departments working with each other, and make sure that we don't create any kind of unexpected, expenses. So we look at every line item very closely. We've kept everything right where we think we can and have to. We haven't really lost any oversight abilities. Our staff is working very hard. They're very talented, and they do appreciate the salary increase. And we'll just continue to kind of work and keep our department under control fiscally, because we know you have unexpected issues when it comes to expenses with other departments. So we're trying to be consistent. And Joe Dioria is somebody I've had the ability to work with as sheriff many years ago, and we had complete faith in him back then. And as you know, he's the guy with the institutional and historical perspective. He understands the laws and ways that probably none of us do, because he sees how they've been applied for decades. And I do stress decades. And he's promised me he's not going to leave, without some warning. So I encourage you to hang in there and stay with us. We just, try to do the county's business every day and work with folks and make it about as easy as possible, while also understanding there's going to be accountability and adherence to, Mass General laws. And if there's something you think we can do better operationally, or working with the folks that you essentially govern, the other departments, we're always open to it. So, and I'm going to ask Joe, if you want to fill in some of the blanks with some of the details, feel free.
Sure.
Maybe preclude some of the
Yeah,
questions.
I mean, we really, like we said, our budget's decreased a little bit. We only actually increased a couple lines, but we offset that by more than decreasing lines. I increased the treasurer's mileage. Not that he ever puts in for mileage reimbursement, but
And I won't.
like in case he decides he wants to go to that MMA seminar again next year, we could pay for it. And then we increased printing and binding a little bit, since we're kind of a little behind on the audits. We have a lot of documents that are waiting to be sent to be bound, but we don't really want to get rid of them until, the audit's done. So those are the two increases in our 200 codes. 300s, we pretty much level funded. And then we cut a little bit in our 400s. We cut associations and societies because we really don't have $250. We cut newspapers by 2,000 because we don't get the Globe and the Wall Street Journal, because it's impossible to get them delivered anymore anyway. And then everything else was level funded. And then in equipment, we cut office furniture because we just got new furniture downstairs. So we cut that down to 0 from 1,000. Miscellaneous office furniture, I should say.
That's great. Commissioners, any questions?
Yeah, tell me if I'm reading this wrong. I probably am. It looks like I'm reading the salaries that are all consistent across the board. There's no increase? Or is there an increase?
The increase is just the 2.5% increase.
And that's in there, right?
Is it in there? It looks like the same number over and over and over again. I'm looking at fiscal 23, and I'm looking at proposed rate of compensation for fiscal 24, and I'm seeing the same number.
I'll have to look at that.
Okay, you might want to check.
Yeah. I'll have
I'm
to
not
check that.
seeing that. We're,
I mean, maybe this
And
book
this
didn't
one?
get, see, I have, okay, so I'm looking at, let's see, hold on now. Budget estimate,
so why don't you read
Treasurer's.
what so basically the 24 request is 555,000,
538, yeah,
Yeah.
538, 138 for our permanent salaries.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Is it code 100?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking around, I'll show you the page I have. It's all level funded in my book, so maybe it wasn't updated.
In other words, the
Possible.
21, 22 should be lower than 23 and 24.
21, 22,
Look,
yeah.
here, Mike,
But as long as the end
It's all-
column
it's
is
all level
right,
funded.
24, we should be fine.
that's what I thought you were
You
being.
have to look at it.
It's supposed to be 2.5%, right?
Right.
It's not showing it, but
I
I
didn't
understand
take,
you're doing it.
as you know, I didn't take a raise, so that's.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let me ask them, but the other people in the department getting,
Everybody did but me.
it looks like everybody's level funded. But no one's getting a raise.
Well, look what he's got. He's got this, yeah.
See? That's why I caught it. I thought, maybe I was reading it wrong.
You're right.
I understood you weren't, but I thought.
No,
What
my
about
number's
everybody else?
correct, though. I'm not sure what these numbers reflect, Joe.
Yeah, that I'm not sure either. Because, I mean, obviously when we're doing the budget, in budget sense, we're not doing this, so this
Right.
was, I think this was turned from the numbers we submitted by the Abrams Group. So
Okay.
whether they put wrong numbers in, I'm not sure. I can double check my numbers
Okay.
when we go back
Well,
downstairs.
that's why we're doing
Yeah.
this today.
Exactly.
There's never a vote
Right.
taken. We like to get the numbers straight,
Right.
so, okay. My understanding is it's 2.5%.
Right.
Okay, and then you reduce others, like you said,
Exactly.
and overall, it looks like a great job overall. I want to make sure we're clear on that.
Right.
For other
Thank
people. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Good presentation.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks for clearing that up,
Presentation.
Commish.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Commissioner Collins,
Good
got
eyes.
any
Do my
questions?
homework. Look at that.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, I only have one question, and again, any budget comes in less than last year is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, findings. Do you use the same person? Or who do you use? Because actually, I just asked that we put binding money in our.
Oh, for binding,
Yeah,
binding,
'cause we-
yeah.
We're falling way behind on putting stuff in the loose leaf.
The project.
Yeah,
If I
well,
could-
we haven't
find
used
the
someone in a
bindings,
while,
yeah.
but it used to be, I believe it was Town Book Bindery was the company that we used to use.
Is it down in Freetown or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Fall River or something?
A lot of
Okay.
stuff now we send to
Mike.
like Iron Mountain
You know, take.
too, so we send stuff away to be
Okay,
stored.
I'm gonna ask you about it, because we're gonna do a little
Yeah.
binding, we're gonna try to start it, even if we do a
Right, on
couple
that,
of years.
but
because
the aggregate numbers it reflects here, so we'll get to
there's
the
a
real
lot of
numbers.
things. Okay, that's my only question, I think, if we correct the salary page or double check it.
Yeah.
Last call for the treasurer's office for their fiscal 24 budget.
Now,
Any other
commend the
questions?
treasurer and your efforts, what you're doing, and obviously working with us in the Albert program is always something we never want to overlook. It's been great, it's been successful, it's a team effort, it's going well, so. Just get the numbers correct up, when you stack them.
Yeah, thank
Now,
you.
is
Thank you for
interest and
pointing that
debt already in here? Or do you
Um,
make a brief presentation? on that?
Yeah, I mean, interest and debt,
All right, we're gonna go to the interest and debt portion of the treasurer's,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for a
Yeah.
brief report. Go
I
ahead,
mean,
Joe.
these are just basically our principal and interest payments on our bonds that have been taken out over the years. We're down 4% on this because a couple older bonds have been paid off, or one, I should say one older bond has been paid off for court repairs. So, I mean, still a big the total is almost 1.2 million. The school does pay for some of that through indirects. But overall, at least we're down a little bit this year, so that saves us some money.
The lower that goes, the better our bond rating, right? Like,
Yes, the
Any
less,
kind of thing,
yeah, we're
right?
carrying, I think our bond
Yeah.
rating could go up a little bit.
oh, we get the bond rating every year, right, Mr. Chairman? Is there-
Only when we
oh, is
go
there?
out,
Only when we ask
Oh,
for
wait,
borrow,
borrow.
only when we start to borrow, yeah.
Okay. Do you see any thoughts about, say we got a windfall of money from somebody? Would it make sense for us to put some more on there and get our bond rating up? We might be going out for
Right.
bid.
yeah,
on
I mean,
something.
it's possible,
I mean,
yeah.
That's something we want to talk about
Yeah,
someday? All right. All right,
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you,
Okay.
thank you, good
This
seeing you.
concludes treasurer's
Stay
fiscal
well.
24 budget. Thank you.
Move that we take the.
We take it under advisement, all in
advisement,
favor?
Jim? Yep.
Taking it under advisement? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we're gonna go to maintenance. John and Tara, come on up.
And you want to consider the schools at this point, get it scheduled at 1:30?
I'm okay.
You're fine? Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah, we're actually,
Thank
we
you.
may get to school by 1:30, but I'll take some, we're very close here. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, how are we? Hi.
Good, how are you?
Good. Hi, John. All right, this famous book here, we are, oh, I see it, I got it.
Which tab you got?
It's the very next tab after the treasurer.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yep, good, good to go.
John McGowan's letter dated February 7th.
Yeah.
Let's go right off. I think we're going right, I don't know, yeah, we're gonna go right off the letter, right, John? How are you going, whatever way.
We actually have
Okay,
data.
yeah, I got it.
Can I have that raise that he didn't want, Mike? Saying, I haven't seen you guys in a year, you know? I haven't got a raise in 12,
12 years?
yeah.
Wow.
But anyway,
You're-
Somebody,
I,
a ghost came.
This is a revised list here, Dick, a revised letter, I don't know.
Oh,
what-
okay.
I know where, I
Uh,
had a copy here for you, Peter, but
Is this replacing what was in our book here?
Yes,
I'm working off this?
yes.
Fine,
Yeah.
okay, go
This-
ahead.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
John.
these are the figures that are for, I highlighted in yellow, are the increases. As you see, maintenance permanent salaries, 70,000. We had to increase it because of the settlement that you made in the contract.
Mhm.
And the temporary salaries haven't increased at all.
Yeah.
And overtime, I had to do that too, increase that 2.5. And the longevity, we had to increase that $250, a $50 increase per the contract.
Right.
And maintenance hazmat stipend of 800.
Those all because collective bargaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And telephone, we had to increase, utilities increased. And the other one, elevator repair, we had to increase that by 600 because of their contract, not ours. And also pest control, the fire protection service. And contractual services, we had to increase that because of the extra work we had done on the alarms. And I think that's about it on that one. Isn't it, John?
So it's the admin alarm system, and then we added additional rugs in the admin building and engineering
yeah.
department, and Cintas have gone up in their rates. And we have an additional bill for Comcast, and that's for the camera behind Dedham District. So that's why contractual has gone up.
Everything else stayed the same except for the sewer and water. We had to go up 8,000. The utility fees.
Is that, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
So just a quick question. Pest control, right? Is it a decrease? Or are you looking to increase it?
That's an increase.
Increase.
It's increased by $2,000.
Okay, one column, let's see. Oh, request, I see,
Rate
gotcha.
increase.
Okay, I'm looking at it right. Okay, I got it. So you got 9, looking for 11.
Mhm.
Asking for 2,000.
Yes.
Are you gonna have the same person or is it go up to bid?
Right now, it's Waltham Pest. I'm not sure when the contract expires. I'm gonna check with Nancy to see. who
It's a
goes-
bid.
The bid,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a bid.
okay,
Have you had them for quite a while though? I don't-
Yeah, we've had them.
yeah.
Good. And they are on a regular schedule.
Yeah.
And then if you have to call them for something special, they come.
Sure, yeah.
They do all the buildings, all our
Yes.
buildings. All right,
I have a question. I see all the electricity, gas, I know it's all up, everything. Electricity is up 121,000
Yes.
for all of our buildings, all your buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it. Did we ever have these companies that come in and claim they can save you money by doing this and so that? Did we ever do one of
Well,
those studies, John?
We've had all the light fixtures changed in a lot of
Since I've been
programs
here, yeah.
to cut back. Quincy's I think our biggest.
Yeah. Quincy runs between
It's about
20 to
28,000
Yeah,
a week,
a
a
month.
month.
Wow.
for Quincy.
And that's right off the meter.
Yeah, and in the summer, they really jack it up.
Okay, and again, everyone's coming in with the same story. The school's next, I'm sure all of their fuel and electricity's up. But amazingly, in 1 year, they need 121,000 more. That's a lot. Gas and oil is not as severe. I mean, it's 24,000 and 11,000.
the bills jumped dramatically over the winter. We all saw that. Now that I just got my latest bill and the bill kind of leveled off.
Yeah, I'm
It's
seeing a
supposed to
little,
start coming
yeah,
down.
I'm seeing a little
They
bit
said
of
it's gonna
decrease.
start coming
Yeah.
down, but it's just the way it is right now.
You know, I sent a letter out to all the guys
Yeah.
telling them that, you know, when they get through cleaning, them, shut the lights off. You know,
Mm.
it saves, doesn't really sound like a lot, but
It does
it
help.
saves a little bit.
No, it does.
No, I'm sure it helps, but
You know.
everybody I talked to was complaining about their electric bill. I'm talking about at their home and everything, so, you know, and I even saw that every source of them were talking about a 40% increase, so
Yeah, that's
it's kind of
why
scary.
we had to put that in there, because we
Yeah.
we don't actually know what they're gonna do. 20%, it might go up more.
So I think what Chairman Shea is saying is something, again, we talked about and danced around it. What our energy czar and energy audit, energy, whatever you want to call it. I mean, maybe, again, if this continues, not your fault.
No,
If these
I-
continue to go up, we have to look at something countywide in terms of what we're gonna do. I mean, maybe we have to have a stricter policy about even hours of operation or lowering the heat after a certain time. You know, I remember that back when the energy crisis first happened, there were things put in place. They were like, you were told, shut your lights off right away, when you left the classroom, lights off. And people would actually go around, if you had a light on, they'd write you up, they would, you know, saving energy a little bit, lower the temperature, and when you can, or something like that, so. I mean, those are, I don't know what you have for, or if you have automatic thermostats, if you set them, or they're constantly at a certain amount,
Yeah,
you know.
they're controlled. They have outside thermostats too. If the temperature reaches a certain degree, the boilers will shut off. If it's not cold enough for them to run. But if it's really cold outside, they turn on.
Mhm.
On, you know, but they're on a timer all the time.
Right,
But if you have a real bad night, you know, a real cold night,
right.
they'll come on automatically.
Which brings my last question on that, the boilers that are so old, you know that. We've talked about this before, that's a capital item, I know, but any movement to do the heat pump or the other things that Abraham had talked about?
We're always working on those,
Yeah.
always changing. We've had it, I think we had it in the plans to change rental.
Replace the
Yeah,
boiler?
and that's,
Yes, I know.
but some of them old boilers run better than the new ones.
And that's true.
Like
That's
us.
very true. No, it's very true. Very true.
But, you know, if we have to change something, we'll do it.
Just a matter of getting parts for them
Yeah.
too, as they
Yeah,
go.
that's the
right?
problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the elevators. They're bad too. You can't get relays, can't get them. Or you can't get them, but you'll have to wait a week or two. And there's one other thing here in that, for the plumber,
FW Wood.
FW Web, this is the price I got for this. It's a tool that they all use now. They don't solder anything if they don't have to. It's a compression fitting. It's in there.
On there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's under that.
And you're adding this into you're
Yeah,
putting
it's
it
a
under
tool.
capital.
Yeah,
It's
Oh, that's what that
$5,700
was. Okay.
with the
Yeah.
quote, right?
Yes.
yes.
You need that tool.
Yes.
Well, I
Okay.
had to borrow one. I had to borrow when in Registry of Deeds, we needed one. You know, rather than call in a welder and all that. So they use these compression fittings.
This is one tool,
One
For the
tool.
plumber?
No,
That's-
these are
that is-
two different tools.
two different tools.
Same process,
Okay. Okay, I get it now. Thank
you
you.
know.
Yep.
It's a ideal thing. I mean, it's real quick, do it a lot faster. Everybody uses them.
That belong in capital or is it belong in operational?
It can live in either area
Either one?
because it's a piece of equipment. I put
Yeah.
it in capital.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
but we're gonna look at it when we
Yeah.
take this budget under. review.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, okay,
It's a money saver.
okay, that's fine.
Help that
In the
plumber out.
future, that's the way it's all gonna be, I think.
Sounds good. Anything else?
Well, that's for me.
Just Peter.
Any other questions? Manpower. Is there a chart here that, how many, are we caught up yet on people? Are we where we need to be or are we
We,
still?
I think we have 3 outstanding jobs, right?
We have 2 people on leave, but they're expected to come back this month. And we have 2 vacant senior building custodians. One's in Rentham and one's in Quincy. And we're filling our custodian position. I think a blue paper's going in today.
Right, there was one on
Yeah.
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's at the bottom, right, so,
I saw that.
so the senior ones, you open that up to everyone that's not a senior, they bid, or even the other
Yeah,
seniors, they bid,
They bid on it in-house.
and then we fill it from below. Okay,
I mean, if one of the employees didn't take it, then a custodian takes it, and that opens his position up.
Right, to get done.
So it just.
Yeah.
So there's two positions open, right, and two possible other ones. Because these two guys that are now for quite a while, they expect to come back. I don't know if they'll be able to do it. You know, but that's up to them.
It's good to know.
If they get cleared.
Yeah.
By a doctor.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, how much? I'd love to get the backlog, if they're eligible to retire, off the books if they can't
Yeah.
come back.
oh, I've mentioned it to them, mentioned it to both of them.
Okay,
And then,
we'll talk about that another day, but I'm just curious. Okay, I mean, all in all, I think things are going very well. You take the good with the bad. We didn't have a lot of snow, but that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
say
but I don't want to put the,
I know it.
I don't want to put the whammy on you, but it's
we
fine.
lucked out on
I
that.
know you saw that, you look out, but some
Yeah.
years you don't look
A
out.
lot of it's a lot of money there to get back.
Yeah, yeah,
To get back.
yeah.
It's one of those years.
It's crazy.
Sometimes, you luck out.
So if it doesn't snow, we can, you probably get mad at me. What is it, Director?
I just have a question when you're ready, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Just as more of a statement than a question, but I mentioned this before with respect to staffing for facility maintenance, specifically Quincy. They have 5 FTEs assigned to Quincy, and as the commissioners understand, we move towards disposing or disposition of the property to the Commonwealth over the next several months and years.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to manage those slots to ensure that funded vacancies are available for the staff when that building
I
closes.
understand, but
Mhm.
And at this point, I don't know when that will be, but if I had to project, I would say it's about 2 years out.
well, when I came here, they were saying the same thing, but we are making progress on Quincy, but that's okay. I have that in my mind. I was just worried, asking about these other frequent flyers, if we could move them along, it'd be good.
Good point. It is, you're right. Because that, yeah, we don't know the timetable yet. We'll know more in a month or so, but, yeah.
Okay, last call. We're not gonna pass your budget today, but we're gonna take it under advisement, John, as we have with every budget. And if there was any more questions, additions or subtractions, we'll get back to you.
Move we take the budget presented for facilities maintenance under advisement.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming
Thanks a
in.
lot.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice.
All right,
Take that,
Hey, John.
that first, hi, Peter. Take that first part in that I talked about with Mike. Take that into consideration.
We'll give you his percent.
Oh, that'd be good. Anything, but I gotta split it with my other 2 people.
Oh, baby. Now it comes. There it is. Nice to see you. Take care. Thank you.
I'll see ya.
Yep. Thank you.
130 Norfolk Agricultural High School, John Wallace, business manager. Is John Martin here?
John Martin's not here.
Oh,
He is on the Zoom.
Oh, John's on the call, okay. Hi, John. Superintendent Martin is with us,
where is it?
and the business manager, John
He
Wallace, is
was,
here.
he's right there.
Okay, good.
This is fiscal year 24 Norfolk County Agricultural High School budget. Okay, now I gotta find it in my book.
No,
Well,
You got something?
Do we have it in the
there's a placeholder budget there, but it's,
Okay.
that particular product is under construction and John's committee today to give commissioners and public an update on the status of the 24 budget.
Oh, okay.
Schools.
All right,
So
well,
all you have is a placeholder, it's not the official
Okay.
submission.
all right, John, you're up, or the superintendent, whatever. way you
yeah,
want.
I'll take care of it. John is there.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
As we approached our budget presentation for our trustee meeting, which took place on March 1st, we received a letter from DESI that affected what we wanted to present as an FY24 budget. Also at that March 1st meeting, the trustees gave us some direction that related to what we were going to intended to put in our budget, which had to be reflected in a revised budget version. So John Martin and I reached out to John Cronin on Thursday of last week or Friday of last week, and we suggested that we would, well, John gave us the freedom to figure out timing that would make sense for the school to present the budget for you guys, the commissioners, as well as the trustees, our school trustees. And John and I discussed it, Martin and I, and we reached back to John Cronin, and we told him that we would be comfortable presenting a budget at the next meeting. At the next meeting of the commissioners, that will be the meeting on the 15th, that we would present the budget then. But we will not be presenting a budget to our trustees for approval until the next meeting on April 5th. At the trustees meeting, which Chairman Shea was at, we proposed the idea that we would submit our budget to you guys or file our budget with the commissioners prior to its approval by our trustees, which isn't the normal order of things to do. And if I remember correctly, Commissioner Shea can confirm, he said he was okay with that order, that he would
Well,
accept.
let me say, I am okay with it, but it's and I realize that we've had budget horror shows in the past, but the last few years we haven't. We've established this new calendar and we're trying to keep to it. Now, I realize things happen and you can't keep to the calendar if you have major problems. And certainly the school budget, whether it's a problem or not, it's major. I just want to keep working in that direction. I don't want to be wringing our hands the last week in June trying to come up with a budget. And I don't know how, I mean, when it's said and done, it is what it is, and we all understand that. But we're here to work with you, and if you had given us specifics today, we only would have looked at them, answered any questions, which we still reserve the right to do, and taken it under consideration today. But I just want to restate it so there's no misunderstanding, that we can try to when are we on to the advisory board?
April 12th.
April 12th, being a very important day. I don't want to, I don't want to bring up the complete budget and except for the school on
Could I
April
ask-
12th.
Mr. Chairman,
But-
would it make any
Go ahead,
sense, if, in light of the fact that the Aggie budget will be presented to us and then the trustees the 5th,
Right.
would it make any sense to have a joint meeting with the trustees and invite them next week if they could come in? Just for the sake of the budget. Is there a joint meeting of the Aggie Board of Trustees with the commissioners next week? Does that make sense? Really, we don't.
Well, at this point, it's not a bad idea because there's only two more of the trustees, and if they can come,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
anything we can do to go along.
Well, is that not the way you want to do things too? I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm just thinking, does that help us facilitate a little bit? Have the trustees here to talk about the budget all at once? And that way we're killing two birds with one throw? Or want to wait and let's go in we're going to meet in April anyway. We're meeting.
Well, we meet every day, every Wednesday.
I know, but I meant the Aggie Board of Trustee meeting is April 5th. We are scheduled for that. We changed it because of the.
I don't think we could,
But-
next week you would be a heck of a lot more along next week than you are today, right?
No, we'll have a budget to present next week. Yeah, we're very close to having a budget to present.
All right, well, I will invite them and I'll post it as a
You wanna
joint.
do that?
Well, there's only two more bodies, so, yeah,
Okay.
and unless we hear something different between
Yeah.
now and
Are
then.
you okay?
And we'll deal with it.
that? How you feel about that?
I'll speak on behalf of the school. I don't prefer to do it that way.
No?
No, because I don't think it gives our school community the ability to participate in the trustee meeting the way they would if we did it on school property after work. And I also think it's potentially an inconvenience for our other school trustees who aren't commissioners. So yeah, that wouldn't be my preference to do it that way. On behalf of the school, as I understand it, John Martin could weigh in how he feels, but I don't think that's the best result.
We have had joint meetings.
We have done
Yeah,
it. I'm not saying
we
it
have,
can't be
yeah.
done. You asking me if so I would say it's not my preference. I don't think it's the best for the school to sort of shoehorn it in like that. I think it's better to do a normal meeting of the school. And if I understand the timing correctly, we wouldn't be impinging on the advisory boards.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
schedule.
All right, let's go another week.
Leave it
They
there.
won't be
Yeah,
here
all right,
next
that's
week.
fine. Okay. All
Good,
right.
Director Cronin.
All right.
At the risk of adding a little bit more cloudiness to this discussion, there is a slight imposition, John. With the current schedule, I'm preparing to submit a county budget to the commissioners on March 29th for preparation of a delivery of the same to the trustees, to the advisory board 2 weeks later on April 12th. So if now the schools are looking to have a meeting on April 5th with the trustees, presumably there will need to be a joint meeting with the commissioners at some point because you're going to have to vote on that before April 12th. Now we're only giving me a week. So I won't have a final budget to present to you on my schedule by March 29th because we're waiting until April 25th for the schools to come in. I prefer Commissioner Stady's option of having a joint trustee meeting next week so that it gives me 2 weeks to take the school's budget into the larger county budget and stay on schedule for the 29th. And I understand with respect, John, to your concern about the school community, but the circumstances are running up, as Commissioner Shea said, against the county's calendar on this. So there's a little bit of got to make a choice, basically. The April 5th option does push us up against the wall to be prepared with county commissioners and a final budget by April 12th. Gives me less than a week.
Who do we have, it might help you a little bit. Who do we have next week? Who's on our agenda?
We're done.
We're actually, we have no one
I've
else.
seen all the.
This was meant to be the
one.
last.
So we're done the first week, and then we take it under consideration.
Oh, what if we had?
John Nixon.
What if we had the county commissioner meeting at the Yankee School? Special meeting. That way people can weigh in if you're saying, you're upset, and we have our meeting there. Just a
Not a
thought.
bad idea, but
Outside the box.
I'll do anything that'll make this more palatable or easier, but I don't know that.
Can I?
Go ahead, sure you can.
It's the school's intention to file a budget by tomorrow, which was the deadline that was given by the county for the budgets to be filed. So we've already filed the budget. You guys have it in front of you. We've got a revised budget now that we intend to present next Wednesday to whomever that is in that meeting, but presumably it's you guys, the commissioners at least.
Yeah.
I plan on uploading that budget into Infinite Visions tomorrow. It won't be approved, obviously, but it wasn't approved when I uploaded it the first time, and no one's budget that's in Infinite Visions has been
Correct.
approved. So
We're
I'm
fine.
not sure.
Okay.
I hope you understood that that was what we planned on doing.
Okay. I'm thinking this through now a little bit, thinking out loud. It's okay. So you're going to present the budget. We know that. All the budgets, Mr. Chairman, to date, we've taken under advisement. Right?
Correct.
We haven't voted on any budget
No,
yet.
and.
So I'm assuming sometime before the advisory board, we have to vote on those budgets. Am I right?
The plan was to do that on March 29th.
March 29th. Okay. Okay. All right. That's first.
Right, and,
All right.
I mean, as sure as we're sitting here, you sat through a couple of budgets today, I would say that the treasurer's budget's probably not gonna change a penny.
No, but there were a
But we
few
took
that,
it under advisement.
Yeah,
The
okay.
first year I was here,
yeah.
or the first year Mike Mullen was here,
Hmm.
we did all this and we were struggling and it was always a struggle. And we got to the last week, a day, we were $1 million off. And it was because either transposition or proofreading. It wasn't, and we caught it right at the last minute.
Yeah.
So you take it under advisement and then.
I got you.
we're-
No,
We're gonna sit
I'm
with,
just trying to think.
John's gonna sit with us and.
Okay.
Go over.
Plan out.
I'm trying,
So-
I'll do anything you want on
No,
time, but
I think we,
I don't wanna shrink, I don't wanna panic June 28th meeting.
didn't you say you were getting a letter at a trustee meeting? My trustee hat on. Didn't you say somebody sending you a letter at the end of the month? Desi? The 28th or 27th?
Well, they
We
thought-
have a meeting scheduled.
Oh, meeting,
with DESI,
okay.
where
Oh.
they're supposed to get back to
Okay.
us on some proposals that were made,
Okay,
but
yeah.
we don't know that they'll have a conclusive answer at that time.
Okay.
And you made them last week, right? You made them last week after we, yeah.
Okay, so you might get this, you might not. Yeah, so I would say, do your best shot. Give us the best budget you can do it. I guess that's what you have to do.
Right, if I could just address the DESI question. The budget that we have currently proposed for FY '24 would be would not require a favorable answer from DESI to be an acceptable number. In other words, no matter what, how the meeting goes with DESI, the follow-up meeting goes with DESI, our FY24 budget that we're going to present to you next Wednesday and that we're going to file with in the Infinite Visions tomorrow
Right.
is going to be satisfactory to DESI
Okay.
without the consideration that we've asked them for.
Okay.
So it's not entirely dependent on that.
So DESI's not gonna hold it up.
They're not gonna hold up the FY24
Okay,
budget.
all right, that's good to
that we're
know. Thank you.
proposing.
So it's a question of, just like, bring them in next week. We're here next week, we know that, we're all here. So we could have the vote, or no, we can't vote, under advisement, and then wait a few weeks for the trustee meeting and get the vote in, but it's really kind of
Okay,
weird.
I can go another week.
It's just,
Is
That's
there,
not-
you
you
know,
don't- you want that.
some of the boilerplate,
Wait, but hold on.
when I say bring it in, I'm talking about, the cap, not, well, maybe the capital, but some of the boilerplate that isn't gonna change. We're just talking about gas and oil. All that stuff is not gonna change, correct? From what you're proposing, in other words, you can do that, I think. It's more based on salaries and other
if
stuff.
the, if the
For the bottom line.
commissioners, frankly, if the commissioners vote the budget on the 29th, no, it's almost, we're having a board of trustee meeting,
The fifth.
post facto, it's like almost,
Correct.
you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say?
I do.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's so facto, it's
I
like,
do
I
understand
mean,
that.
right now it is, and I'm not trying to be funny
No,
about
no,
it, but,
no.
I mean, we're voting at the 29th,
It's a chicken and the egg thing.
and then we go back to the 5th and say, here's the budget. I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to think.
It's.
But I
Could I suggest
Sure.
something, Commissioners?
Yeah.
It's also possible for us to contemplate a special or emergency school trustee meeting that's before March 29th, if that's what the county director prefers. We could consider that, right? And we'd have to speak to the commissioner of the trustees, the chairman of the trustees, to decide if we wanted, but we have enough time. There's enough time between now and then to pick a meeting on the 28th of March, which is a Tuesday. We could have a 28th trustees meeting.
I like Commissioner Stady's idea. Why couldn't that be on the 15th?
I
Have
have
the commissioners
I'm gonna
meeting and
travel.
the trustees meeting down there on the 15th.
coming back.
At night?
Whenever, we meet at 1:00. The trustees could meet whenever around that time period. If the school's a concern through you, John, that the discussion of the school budget is outside the orbit of the school interested parties, bringing the discussion down there accomplishes that checks that box.
You know what? We could, could we,
And with respect to timing, we can always schedule a commissioners meeting at whatever time the chairman decides around whatever the trustees decide.
I mean, it was strictly for the budget, that's all it is. It's a meeting just for the budget. It's not a meeting of any other items or agenda. We'll have our regular meeting the 5th, right? So the meeting is just to hear the budget and to vote the budget. That's why, I mean, I don't know why it's troubling to have just the trustees come in. It's only talking to 2 individuals. And
I think that's a good idea.
Go ahead. Is that John Martin? Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Joe. I think that is the best idea that I've heard so far. Well, we apologize that we've got us into this mess, but as John pointed out, our FY24 budget is going to be in compliance with the state regs. So it's not really a concern at that end of things. So I like this proposal.
Okay.
What proposal?
So have the trustees meeting here, or a joint meeting, everybody here,
Everybody at the Aggie.
with the Aggie, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, just a kick around the time, all right. Is there a time, is it better for, you want to have people there at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? We have to figure out who's available too, it's,
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Richard, I certainly would not stand in opposition with respect to agreeing with John Wallace's position that it would be ideal to have our community involved with the budget conversation. I wouldn't stand in the way of having the meeting in Dedham, a joint meeting in Dedham either, so long as we could get the other trustees at the table.
okay. Okay.
I want to be sensitive to John Cronin's position that, you know, he's got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time to do it.
So,
State it again.
So
one more
very
time.
quickly,
ahead.
with respect to your schedule next Wednesday, because that's what we're talking about, right?
Right.
15th. You are scheduled for 11 a.m. with Judge Chernoff.
oh,
Right.
boy, I forgot about that.
And if
Right.
the chairman decides to move the commissioners' meeting down to the schools, we can then establish the time for that. And I presume we can do the trustee meeting before that. So if the trustees are going to meet from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, the commissioners can fall right
I
after that.
prefer not to have an evening meeting on that night.
Well, I
Yeah.
prefer if we're gonna be here for Judge Chernoff, we're not
I
gonna
forgot
be here,
about
then
that.
go down to school and come back.
I
So we're
forgot
gonna be
about
here,
that.
if
Now-
we decide.
Well, that kind of defeats the purposes of bringing the discussion of the budget to the school committee, which I think Mr. Wallace did.
But Mr. Martin said he was comfortable.
No, Mr. Martin said he's okay with
He
it.
just said he's okay.
He
doing
just
it.
said, yeah,
Very good.
he's okay.
All right.
If the superintendent's okay with it, I mean, we're only talking about the budget, that's all we're talking about. And as I said, we will have a trustee meeting, we will. And
Yeah,
this,
on the-
you know,
on the
listen,
fifth, that's
these
fine.
things,
All
we've
right.
always said it's a fluid process. This, if we get input of something significant that we're overlooking, there's always time to make adjustments, but I think I forgot about that deposition thing. So how about if we move for the 15th, to call appointment of the trustees and the commissioners here in Dedham.
Mhm.
But do you want to schedule it for a certain time? Time certain, or do you want to do it
We're 11:30.
at 11?
11 a.m. with the
To-
mediator.
That's gonna take a while.
Okay, and the three of us are gonna testify?
I don't know the
Who knows,
agenda at this
but-
time.
Be a
The
while.
meeting.
That could get for you 2 hours.
Let me ask you this before we schedule this meeting, and I'm not questioning you, but I am, I guess. Does the mediator know we have a regular scheduled
Yes, he
meeting every
does.
Wednesday of our lives?
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
Oh, he does, okay. Because, I mean, if we get up and walk away at 1 o'clock, you'd say, I didn't know you, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
So we have nothing on the agenda next week, you're saying? The budgets, no other budgets?
Correct.
All right, we have a
So
regular
could
meeting.
we have this at 2?
Sure.
Set time? That'd
Sure.
be-
Do you want the trustees first or the commissioners first?
No, actually, I want the trustees first.
So trustees
It's
at
only
1,
fair.
commissioners after that.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
That's fine,
Yeah, that's good.
that's fine.
That'll work out.
Okay,
Trustees
because
first,
we need to know by Monday, because we post on Monday, okay.
okay,
All right, let's give that a try.
right, that position.
Are we all on the same page as far as
Yeah.
that's concerned?
That'd be great. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John Martin.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Thank you.
Is there anything else we can discuss to make this any easier? Making progress, because we're taking it under advisement.
Yeah, and it's
Is it
advised,
okay?
right? Yeah, no vote. Okay,
We weren't gonna take a vote anyway.
but we need to notify, so that's it, essentially to notify Mark and trustee
Matt.
Sheehan. Yeah, Matt, trustee Sheehan, we have that.
Who usually, do we, I know Matt has an eclectic schedule due to the fact he's an airline pilot. Do we call him as ahead of time, or? I mean, we'll call.
I can call them both today.
Okay, I mean, I don't think Mark has as big an issue as Matt does, but we would like to have them here for sure. Okay,
Want to do it at 1, or do you want to do 1:30? I mean, is that, I mean, these guys, time is valuable.
Yeah.
We could do 1:30, couldn't we?
I'll
Or is it
yield to
better?
John to
How much
how
time do you
much
think
time
you
he
need?
thinks he needs to
What time do you need?
present the budget.
To the trustees, right?
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
Cronin,
1:30.
Yeah,
to get a vote and approval.
yeah,
I think half of an hour is might be short, might be
Okay.
tight,
yeah.
you know?
I mean, we'll keep
I-
it at 1 then. All right, keep it at 1.
So, yeah, I would prefer
All right.
to have the hour.
All right, good. Now we
Just
got
to
a
give
whole
us
hour,
flexibility,
whatever you
yeah.
want. All right, that's fine. All right, John. That's one way to make sure. So trustee meeting at 1, followed by commissioner meeting at 2. Well, you'll open the meeting and then I'll open the meeting. You know how that goes. Whatever.
you'll open the meeting. It's
We
not-
may have
but
different
we're all
hats.
there.
Right. All right. All right. Well, that's progress. Thank you, John Martin. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
this
Anything else?
concludes the matter of the
School
Norfolk County Agricultural School budget for 2024, for today.
for today. Right.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank
We
you.
gotta get that signed, right?
Can you take care of that
Yeah.
without me?
What is it?
I can, but what do you want to do? Leave it here or?
I'll just ask Nancy to grab it after the meeting.
Okay,
She
yeah.
doesn't, I'm usually just carrying it over
Yeah.
to Nancy's office and dropping it off.
Yeah. Well,
So they
well,
do.
Joe, you go ahead and sign it, and then Peter had to stamp it.
Okay, I'll
The
do it
warrant.
right now. But we're gonna go to number 6 anyway, which is on our
Take
regular
place after
agenda,
the
public
meeting.
comment.
Yeah.
Director Cronin, if you had
Oh, it's
any
Nancy. So, okay.
questions,
No, sir.
public comment, each week we have a session of public comment. If there's anyone has any public comment, now's the time to give it. Thank you. That concludes public comment
There's 3
today.
warrants, Mr. Chairman.
3 warrants.
No, on your.
I'm sorry,
no,
old business I have
No,
none.
the school had 3. The school-
Things at once.
the school had 3 warrants. 3
Richard.
bills. Yes.
Richard, they can stamp on the school warrants, they can stamp my name on that, so.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
That's-
okay.
It's okay to do that, right?
No, but for the school warrant too, you can stamp
Right.
that.
That's what thank you. I got it. We're clear. We have old business next, Mr. Chairman.
Old business I have none.
Okay, me neither. Good. And we have personnel matters, Mr. Chairman.
We have
I can-
2 minor
I can move on
personnel
that if you
matters.
want. All right, Mr. Chairman, pleased to move the appointment of notice of contingency employment for Robert King of Quincy as substitute instructor at the rate stated effective 3/9/23. Motion made.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote.
Second one, Mr. Chairman, in the area of maintenance, as we heard earlier, notice of appointment of Stephen McDonough of Quincy as a custodian for the rate stated, and it would be for effective 3/13/23. So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded, all in favor? Aye, it is a vote.
All
I
right.
have, you have the payroll and expense
I
warrants.
do. I'm ready to
Commissioner
roll.
Stady, ready
We
to
have-
go.
We have 6, Mr. Chairman, so I'll read them fast. First, 23-36 payroll of the county, the sum of $144,538.51. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye, it is a vote. Next.
Next, 23-36, parentheses 18, payroll of the school, the amount of $380,623.37. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Third, for the expense of the county, 03-01-23, the amount $487,311.46. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye. Next, I have 2 opera awards. We heard one earlier. Opera award granted to the town of Holbrook. It's line item 23-36, the amount of $2,078,739.98. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Other opera award to the town of Bellingham, line item 23-36, the amount of $49,999. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye. Last one, expense of the county, line item 03-02-23, the amount of $151,815.70. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye, it is a vote.
That concludes the,
Payroll and expense
you've
warrants.
got it.
Thank you.
I think,
Number
Mr.
10
Chairman,
was the report on the American Rescue Plan Act 2021.
we need Peter's.
Do you have any further report other than what we did today?
Very briefly, Mr. Chairman, for the benefit of Commissioner Collins and Commissioner Stady, Commissioner Shea and I met with Mayor Quincy earlier this week to discuss the Quincy ARPA profile. Not surprisingly, the Quincy mayor has quite a few projects in the queue, including a couple of applications that are still pending in the portal. After a relatively productive discussion with the mayor and his CFO, we came to a conclusion on a strategy that will enable the city of Quincy to make an application shortly for the balance of their county ARPA allocation to help offset costs associated with the new elementary school, I believe, or middle school.
I believe he's looking at, it's a special needs school.
Yep.
That, for lack of a better term, for exceptional folks that get sent out to other schools now, they're trying to do the Quincy people in their own school.
Really?
They're halfway home, oh yeah.
Really? Like building
They're
a school?
building a whole school, oh yes.
That's interesting.
And he's halfway home on it.
Wow.
And then they'll build a new Squantum Elementary School too. but,
Would that be under opera?
Yes.
A school?
Yes.
Education? Yeah, okay.
Recall, Commissioner, that we also awarded funds to the town of Westwood earlier for a portion of their construction of their new elementary school.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for HVAC, I think. But in any event, it was a productive conversation, and we expect Quincy to be submitting a rather large reimbursement to clear out their allocation at this time. So a good site visit, and compliments to Commissioner Shea When you walk through Quincy City Hall, it's walking with a giant. Everybody knows Joe. So it was a great visit. Thanks, Coach.
Bid openings, we have none. Contract awards, we have none. Report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The commissioners should know on February 28th, the initial opioid settlement grant period closed. This is the collaborative grant agreement with the Norfolk County District Attorney, Michael Morrissey. Out of the potential 20 applicants, we received 13. I sent along the list to the DA and his program coordinator, Christy McDougall, yesterday. The DA is going to ask his staff to contact the remaining 7 to 8 community coalitions to see if they have an interest in applying, and give them perhaps another week or two to do so. I'll report back when the DA feels as though we've reached the end point. We can begin looking at grant awards associated with that program. Let's see. Next week on the calendar, we have an item scheduled for Commissioner's public hearing on the FY24 budget, which will include capital. Pursuant to general laws, you know, we posted for a public viewing of the budget, excuse me, and I believe it was the Quincy Ledger. And today, actually yesterday, I believe it was posted as a public document, draft public document on our website as required. The budget currently is out of balance. Not surprisingly, the submissions exceed our available revenues. It's the traditional way Norfolk County approaches this. Over the next several weeks, as I indicated earlier, I'll be taking the collective budgets and managing them towards a balanced budget for your review on March 29th. Next week, I hope to explain in further detail during the public hearing notice the capital plan that you have in front of you. I know we put it in the packet. If any of the commissioners have any questions leading up to next week, I'll be happy to answer them. Complementing the FY24 capital view, I've also added a proposed ARPA plan. The commissioners know that when the ARPA grant started, I continue to quote Commissioner Stady because I think there were sage words, communities first, and that certainly has been the case. We're almost 2 years into this plan, and Norfolk County has not really delved into the ARPA funding available to the county, but we do now plan to do so. We'll be looking at a study, or 2 studies relative to Dedham Superior and Dedham District Court for investments in improved air quality and HVAC control systems, among other things. You'll hear more about that next week, but please take a moment to review it. If you have any questions leading up till next week, I'll be happy to discuss it, but it is currently in the public viewing document along with the FY24 proposed budget. In addition, Mr. Buckley sent along an email from his school committee sources that I just wanted to briefly share with the commissioners because it has come up a couple of times. The House of Representatives last week passed a supplemental budget which would extend the remote meeting option until 2025. The Senate is expected to take that up this week. As we, of course, inch closer to March 31st and the 48 hours preceding that date, we'll be mindful of any impact that action or inaction by the legislature has on our public posting of remote opportunities. If this resembles the changes that were made the last time, I expect a last minute decision. So the good news is the legislature understands that this decision impacts hundreds of public meetings and communities across the state. So just a brief update on, but there is apparently some movement, which is good. Just a quick notice, the Registry of Deeds union contract with AFSCME was voted by the Registry of Deeds union staff last week, and they rejected the offer and will be heading back to mediation currently in early April. Time and date to be finalized shortly. And then finally, commissioners, I was speaking with Robert Pearson, your RSVP coordinator today. Robert wanted to alert the commissioners to put a bookmark in your calendars on May 18th. We are targeting an afternoon event, approximately 2 hours in duration at the Dedham VFW, where 25 to 30 volunteers, Norfolk VSOs, Sheriff's Department, and site reps will be doing a gold pinning award for individuals who work with veterans in Norfolk County as volunteers. This event is held annually, and I believe this is a great local event that reflects well on the county's widespread support of volunteers, and of course, the volunteers that make it all happen. Robert wanted me to share that with you today. So
Robert's on now.
time to be.
Robert's with us now.
Yep, there he
Any
is.
questions?
Robert, did I get it all in correctly?
Good enough, John.
Thank you.
Time to be.
Perfect.
Yes,
Yep.
working on the time.
Okay, I'm gonna put that down. I'll make every effort to go. I don't know.
Thank you.
Probably
And that's all I have,
nervous.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any questions of our county director? Any further questions?
Is that, I'm sorry, through you to John, Robert, maybe he left. Robert, you gone? He's gone. Well.
I'm
is
here.
Is that similar to the program? Was that Endicott State last year? Or they watched?
The Endicott Estate is a yearly volunteer recognition for
Okay.
all the volunteers. This is a veteran pinning event,
Okay,
Commissioner, where we're going to focus on all, as John said, all Norfolk County RSVP volunteers who are veterans, supporting all the programs, and all non-veterans as well who support vets. So there
Okay.
should be about 25 to 30 volunteers coming to that.
Right.
yeah, it's beautiful. Okay,
Okay,
okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Keep up the good work. Thank you. All right.
okay, thank you,
All
Robert.
right.
15, emergency items or topics the chair did not originally anticipate would be discussed. I have none.
Would request politely and respectfully for you, if we could have executive session added next week. I know we have a busy agenda, but I
That's all
want
right.
time to talk to, it's better for three of us.
This is executive session with Labor Council
Yeah,
or General Council or both?
to be determined. I mean, I wanted executive session put down for the purpose of talking some collective bargaining.
Okay, all right,
In light of what
absolutely.
happened, I wanted to.
So we
give it-
will have, we'll
but-
start off, after we open the meeting, we'll go into executive session next week.
And are we supposed to get an official notice on the deposition? We supposed to be told by somebody? Oh, you said on the meeting, I'm sorry.
Mediation.
The mediation. We,
I just received the alert from Scott yesterday. I'll forward the invitation to you electronically if you'd
okay,
like.
all right.
Okay,
Okay, good.
last call. Any other items, please? We have a motion to adjourn.
Will we adjourn at 2:15?
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Right, Pete?
Thank you,
Get better, Pete.
Commissioner.
That cough
Bye.
sounds bad. Get better.